Today our lecture number 5 and we will start the chapter number 2 in International Banks course with the title The Nature of International Banks. So this is chapter number 2, Nature of International Banks. The first topic we will talk about GATS and international banking. First, GATS stands for General Agreement on Trade and Services. General Agreement on Trade and Services. But first, the growth of international banking in general has been a key driver in financial system development. So, banking has played a vital part in the world economic integration through the history. So, in general, when we talk about GATS, unlike GATT, G-A-T-T, related to General Agreement, Trade and Tariffs. But when we talk about GATS, General Agreement on Trade and Services. This is new multilateral agreement. It entered into force on the 1st of January 1995 as a result of Uruguay round. So the main question now, what about banking services? How we can trade banking services? GATS answered this question. We can trade on banking services by using 4 modes of supply or services, 4 modes of supply. Mode number 1, cross-border supply. Mode number 2, consumption abroad. Mode number 3, commercial presence. And the last mode number 4, temporary movement of natural persons. So we use 4 modes as a trade in banking services or any services. How we can explain 4 modes of supply? By the following table. We will compare between provider of a service, in our example the bank, provider for banking, this is the bank, and the user or the client or the customer. 2 options for the bank or 2 choices, immobile or mobile. The same in case of the user or client or customer, immobile or mobile. Immobile equal no movement and the mobile equal move. So what about mode number 1? The mode number 1 called cross-border supply. What about mode number 1? In mode number 1, the provider or the bank immobile and the customer or the user the same, immobile. So in this case, in mode number 1, the mode of service of supply of trade where services provided from one country to another country without any international movement. In our example, when national client pays an international bill via online banking, when the customer or client or Egyptian customer open new account or new bank account in Bank of America online. In this case, Bank of America, the provider, immobile, and the customer is the same, immobile. So this is mode number 1. By mode number 1, the satisfaction or supply of services and demand by electronic commerce. What about mode number 2? Mode number 2 called consumption abroad. In mode number 2, the provider or the bank immobile, but the user or the customer mobile. So in our example, in this case, consumption abroad is a mode of supply of a service supply or trade where services provided in one member to the clients of another. This mode requires that clients of services move abroad without any international movement from the service provider, in our example, the bank. In this case, simple example, if you are an Egyptian customer or client or user and you will travel to USA to open bank account in Bank of America. In this case, the provider Bank of America immobile, but you are a user mobile. Mode number 3, we talk about commercial presence. What about commercial presence? In this case, the provider or the bank mobile, but the user immobile. So, according to commercial presence, is a mode of service supply or trade where services supplied through any type of business or a professional establishment like foreign direct investment of one member of the agreement in the location of another member. In other words, the service provider moves to the location of clients through FDI. An example or simple example in this case, suppose Bank of America open new branch in Egypt. In this case, we talk about commercial presence. The last, mode number 4. Mode number 4 equal temporary movement of natural persons. So, according to mode 4, a mode of service supply or trade where services supplied by nationals of one member to another member, requiring the physical presence of service provider in the host country. So in this case, we focus on the provider when the provider move or mobile, but at the same time, provider not an institution. Provider individual, not an institution. So for example, when bankers or consultants or financial experts travel from their country to another countries for work. In this case, mode number 4. So in general, we have 4 modes of supply. In each mode, we compare between mobile or immobile. The next point, what about GATS and banking services? GATS classified banking services into the following. Number 1, acceptance of deposits and other repayable funds from the public. Number 2, lending of all types like consumer credit, mortgage credit, factoring and financing of commercial transaction. The next, financial leasing and all payment and money transmission services, guarantees and commitments, trading for own account or from account of customers, where an exchange in all current market, like when we talk about money market instruments, foreign exchange, derivatives, exchange rate, and other securities. Participation in issues of all kinds of securities and money broking, asset management such as cash or portfolio management, settlement and clearing services for financial assets, advisory and the other financial services in all activities like credit references and analysis, investment and portfolio research. And this is the main, or these are the main activities for banking according to the GATS. Thank you, my dear students.